So I just got home from watching Supergirl, and yeah, it was mediocre, at best. Might even be bad actually. Though I have a hard time calling it that since, it's not incompetently made. It's shot decently, the CGI is hit or miss, like sometimes good, sometimes bad, like most things nowadays. The acting is fine, etc, etc. And I want to get ahead of people overreacting. Is this the end of the new DC universe? No, absolutely not. One mediocre or bad or whatever you want to call this movie doesn't ruin an entire franchise. I still have faith in James Gunn and his vision, but that just makes it even more incomprehensible on what the went wrong with Supergirl. After Superman last year, I had a lot of faith in this movie. I was excited. Superman was good. I know a lot of people say it wasn't, but it was. It was really good. It had charm, it had character, it had personality. And Cornswell was a perfect casting. And to be fair, I think Lily Alcock is a good choice for Supergirl. She's not the problem in this movie. And neither is Eve Ridley as Ruthie. Both do at least adequately in their roles. It's what they've been given that's the problem. The writing here is just so bland. A lot of people will probably complain how it's not faithful to the original Woman of Tomorrow comic that it's based on. I've heard that that is one of the best comics ever written. And I say her because I haven't read it personally. But my cousin who I went to the cinema with has, and he was passionate about how unfaithful it was. So I'll take his word for it. Like I said, I haven't read it so I can't really analyze it from that perspective. What I can say however is why I had an issue with the writing. And it all starts, like most stories, at the beginning. The first act of this movie is a blur. They speedrun Ruthie's origin so fast I almost missed it searching for my popcorn. Nothing is set up and nothing is added that she doesn't exposit immediately after anyways. Same goes with Kara's little introduction. Nothing is added that isn't explicitly told to us right afterwards. This movie should have clearly just begun at the bar with the two of them meeting each other, cutting like 10 minutes of the setup in the beginning of the movie. That would leave so much more on the table to explore later, especially in the case of Ruthie. And that kinda hints at a bigger problem. Every single second of this movie feels like it's exposition. Whether it's Kara explaining about red, green or yellow sunlight, or her powers or Krypton or enemies or planets or what have you, it's just non-stop. They can't go through a single scene without feeling the need to explain something. If that something was, super intricate and complex as well as explaining it in a subtle way, that would be totally fine. And even what we call good writing. But everything here is standard run-of-the-mill sci-fi world building. It's nothing special. And often Kara just explains out loud to Ruthie, who just looks back a little confused. There's nothing subtle with it. Everybody and their mother knows about yellow sunlight being the source of Kryptonians' powers at this point. And if somehow they've been living under a rock for the last half century, have some trust in your audience to figure it out, like it's not rocket science. This all spills out on the girls' relationship. Since Ruth is mostly there just to receive exposition, she can't really have her own character outside of just wanting revenge. And since she is the surrogate for the audience essentially, the writers feel compelled to have Ruthie realize stuff or see stuff or have things explained to her that she really shouldn't know at that part of the story. Like if you're gonna make the climax about this realization that Supergirl is not perfect but good, you can't have Ruthie comment on it in the first act. It doesn't make sense. That is something, she needs to build up over the course of the film after knowing Kara for a long time. And that kind of brings in the whole 3-day time thing being kind of too short for this movie. But that's a whole nother thing. For that to truly work, I think Ruthie should almost idolize Kara in a way. At least in the beginning. Seeing her as some sort of god. Someone that can do no wrong, that she looks up to. And during the story, during the conflict, she realized that Kara is not that person, but it's okay not to be that person. That would be a genuinely interesting movie, and that would also allow some good commentary on the differences between Superman and Supergirl. Because arguably, Superman is that perfect. And the pressure for Kara to be as good as him must be enormous, and also impossible to achieve, thus her falling short is kinda inevitable. But we don't get that in the movie. We see Superman a few times, but it's not enough to get a sense of their dynamic and how their relationship is like. Another issue that deflates this god versus human angle is just how weak Kara feels. Yeah, there's almost always an explanation on why she's weak, if it's the red sun or green sun, or, kryptonite injected, or she's poisoned or whatever. And that's fine, but it's more just her aura. People should genuinely be afraid to speak to her, or at least know that she's super powerful, be afraid to fight her. She's broken beyond belief, like every Kryptonian ever, and having that presence would really help bring out the deeper meanings in this movie. That's a good segue into the action. There is way too much of it. Simple as that. This story doesn't need constant action. It feels like a damn Netflix show fighting for viewer attention. Like if we don't have an action set piece every 10 minutes, the viewer's gonna pull up their phone and start scrolling TikTok or something. I don't know how much action there is in the original comic, but there's no way there's this much. And during every action scene, Ruthie is just useless. She's a complete liability. That would be a cool angle. Her being a normal person among these gods, essentially. Being terribly outmatched, always needing Kara to save her. But they don't do anything with that, so I'm just left here being frustrated that she's even there at all. Also, I'm generally tired of Superman power fight scenes at this point. I get they're hard to make interesting, flying, punching, super strength, whatever. But just don't do them that much then. No one is forcing you. Maybe the higher ups are. What do I know? Let's move on to the visuals, where the quite awkward visuals from Superman is also present here. Although it doesn't really feel the same. In Superman it kinda worked because just of how fun and colorful it was. Wearing a sometimes quirky CGI on its sleeve. In Supergirl, it's just awkward without the charm. Like in the climax, for example. I'm sure that they went for like a Mad Max Fury Road finale type of aesthetic, but it ends up feeling more like The Flash or Thor the Dark World than anything else. And those are not good company to be with. This is a larger issue, unfortunately. Every new scene, every new world, every new area they visit just feels bland and uninspired. One wasteland after another. Where is that Guardians of the Galaxy flair when you need it? And on the topic of CGI and visuals, Krypto looks really weird sometimes. Could they not have gotten a real dog at least for some of these scenes? Like, it's so obvious when he's interacting with especially Ruthie in the end. It just looks so bad. And him being like the centerpiece, the thing that drives the plot forward or even makes the plot happen in the first place, makes it even worse. But that also takes away from Kara's agency and choice, because she doesn't do this because of her, good insider and helping Ruthie or anything. She doesn't make a choice. She does it for Krypto, and that's just way less interesting. Alright. I think it's enough shitting on a movie for one day. But it raises the question, is it a horrible movie? I would say that it's not even close. There are plenty of things that's competent with it. It's not outright, terrible. But I can't help but be incredibly disappointed. I had so much hope and faith that it was gonna be good. Even better than Superman was. It frustrates me even more since I see good elements in this movie that would make a great film. I see him just hiding behind all the bad choices. But alas, I was wrong to have faith. One good thing, one silver lining you can take from this movie is I'm even more excited about Superman 2, because every time Cornsweb was in this movie, every time Superman appeared, he was just electric. Anyway, Supergirl was nothing that I hoped for and everything I feared that it could be, and thus I'm feeling robbed on IMAX tickets. Those things are expensive these days, and I'm a student, it hurts. In the end, it breaks my heart, but I have to give it a score of 3 out of 10. Thank you for watching all the way through. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. That's that simple. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button. It really helps out the channel. I also want to know, what did you think about the movie? Did you love it? Did you like it? Did you hate it as much as me, or maybe even more? Comment it down below. And until the next time, have a great one. Peace.